Oh, no,
events
yeah.
come on this
Ooh.
room, and the thermostats in that room.
So things it's warm out there and it's pumping cold in.
I mean, when we're ready, young lady.
I'm ready.
You'd think they would have shut it off at 4:30. Yeah.
I don't think
because
so.
we're-
Everything's off, the mics wasn't.
I guess.
No, I think they're automatic.
I think they're automatic. We don't turn them on anymore. That's why we have to watch executive session, remember?
Yeah, it was recording last week.
Okay, ready.
Okay.
Boys.
All right, it's 6:06, Monday, April 17th. Town of West Warwick Pension Board meeting being held in the Town Hall Chambers, West Warwick. Let's start off with roll call first, please.
Louis Vistano,
Here?
David Lemoy,
Here.
Donna Lucia,
Here.
Jeffrey Coslin,
Here.
Edward Fonseca.
Here.
Great. David, you want to start with prayer, please?
Sure. Dear God, please let this meeting be held in respect and timely fashion. Amen. Not much of a prayer today. Sorry.
That's okay. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 15, 2017?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item G, Board Council report.
I have lots of things on the agenda, but nothing off. So we can just cover it as they come up.
Okay. Item H, Rockland Pembroke monthly expense. That's March. Okay. So Rockland is reporting the beginning value for March 1st, and this is not inclusive of some of the alternatives. But it starts at $25,726,780.13. There are additions of $2,174,028.23, which are comprised of $454,637.42 of employee contributions, $1,714,835.50 of employer contributions, and then there were two stop payments on checks of $4,555.31. Then there were withdrawals of $798,336 even, and that was comprised of normal distributions of $766,744.65, pre-approved bills of $8,705.48, and Clearbrook's quarterly fee of $22,885.87. Then there were also, dividend income of $54,676.60. Rockland's monthly fee was a reduction of $2,079.68. During the month of March, there was a change in market value of $218,289.02, leaving the ending market value at Rockland Trust of $27,372,358.30. And then the alternatives, their market value was $4,879,646, giving the pension board grand total of $32,270,004. Item I, payment of bills. Olin and Penza, we have file MDF 7372, the amount of $499.50. File MBF 7372/25, the amount of $962. And last
stop putting the total on.
No, I don't think I had time to do it.
Okay.
Because of the taxes. I was gonna calculate. It's gonna be easy to do on paper.
It's $17.94.50, but I'm no accountant.
You are today. $794.50. Have a motion to,
Motion to pay item I-1.
Second it.
motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Payment of bills to Olin and Pens is approved at $1,794.50. Item J, application received and approved. First one is Eric Bonang, normal time in police department for March 18, 2017. Figures are still pending.
No, they came in.
Nice.
Oh,
Isn't there?
I had to put it on because I went on vacation. The only one you have to table is Baines. They didn't come in.
Robert Baines, yeah.
The other two are there,
Okay.
and they both signed off on them. They're in the packet. I'll explain.
Wait a minute, Eric's is here.
Yes. This one.
Just Baines.
How come?
No,
He
he
knows.
knows, he knows.
It just came in right now. I met with him at 3:30.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, okay.
I can
It's in
give
the-
them to you.
Is that it?
Yes, they're right in the
Yeah,
letters.
they're in there.
Eric's is $3,471.59 monthly, and his retirement date is 3/18/2017.
Yes.
And the reason they're received and approved is they just retired, came in, and I tried to get the figures as fast as possible. They're just normal.
Okay, and Stevens figures?
Yep, Mr. Hino. He,
Should be, they have
Yep.
$1,030.
$30, yep.
Well, I'm sorry, $1,030?
$30.15.
15 cents, but remember now, his is the one on his
Yes.
thing that he signed off on, his benefit summary acceptance. He, goes retro back to 8/1/14. He was the one pending, waiting, but then
Right.
the council made that decision and he fell in there, there's an ordinance
Okay.
approved, so just so you guys know. And then this top thing is the interest, I wrote it on his acceptance thing, and it's an executive session about the interest, cause he wants interest back, his attorney sent this little sheet.
Okay. All right, so going back to Eric Bonang's, file.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You see it, the two little
All
sheets?
So it's $3,471.59. We just need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve J1.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded to approve J1. Any discussion?
No.
There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, J1 is approved. Item J2, I'll make a motion to table.
Motion to table J2.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded, any discussion?
Nope.
Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item J2 is tabled. Item J3, Stephen Hino, we have a monthly payment of $1,030.15. I have a motion to approve.
We want to table it so we go to executive session, discuss the interest, or is that?
Or the two separate items?
I think it's two,
You can do it either way. If you wanted to approve it, you could approve it subject to a determination of back pay or something to that effect. Or you could table it and then bring it back on after you do executive session.
but Krista, is the interest separate than the monthly payment and the retro?
Yes,
Yes, so this is just his
benefit going
retro,
forward.
yes. The interest is
Not
a separate.
retroactive, there's just the benefit going forward from today would be one thing, and then the retroactive payment would be another thing. So that would be something Nyhart has to do separately.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would suggest you put it on hold
Table.
until after executive session.
We always go retro back to their date of retirement once it's approved,
Right,
because everything's always
Right.
behind.
the question is because of the
The
interest.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, which is
Yeah.
separate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so item J3, we're gonna table roll talk for executive session. I don't need a motion for that.
You're just holding it.
Yeah, just.
Item K, applications received. James DiCaprio, normal for wastewater, July 1st, 2017. Evan Ventura, normal wastewater, 7/1/17. Make a motion to accept these applications.
Good.
Motion to accept item K.
And I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Item K for both parties has been approved. Item L, death benefit for Ralph Williamson, February 22nd, 2017, from municipal, one-time death benefit amount of $2,000. And a motion to approve this death benefit.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item L is approved. All right, at this point, we're going to go into executive session. So, in accordance with Rhode Island General Law 4246-4 and 4246-5, subsection A2, the pension board will convene into executive session to discuss personal issues of litigation.
Motion to
Someone.
enter into executive session.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Now we can see if we wind up on the TV again.
Yeah.
They were nice enough last week to tell us that we were on the TV out there.
My blood level went down to 7. My hemoglobin. I had 2 pints of 2 units of blood.
Okay.
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 Okay, need a motion to,
Motion to reconvene.
You have to
No,
seal
we did that. You
it.
did that.
You have to
Oh, no,
seal
you
it.
have to do an open session.
Oh,
Now you gotta do it.
Now that we're on.
Seal them, you know.
motion to seal the minutes.
Close the hearing.
Close the
Close.
executive session and seal the minutes. Do it twice.
Second.
Because it has to be an open
motion's
session.
been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. All right.
Should I reconvene?
Motion to reconvene in open session.
Second.
This is
Made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries.
All right.
Okay,
Are we on?
Yeah, it's tired.
let's go back to item J3. Stephen Hino.
Okay.
We have this
For his monthly payment of $1,030.15, I'd like to make a motion to approve that.
A second.
All right, so technically,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the normal retirement amount of
$1,030.15.
$1,030.15.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay. Item,
As to the retro, it's still on J3, you have to do a
J-
motion
yeah,
about
yeah.
You gotta do with the
retroactive
interest.
amount with interest. Table that.
oh, that's not,
That's
Yeah,
interest.
the interest is not,
going on?
yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about, all right, in terms of the interest payment to him, that is being tabled.
I make a motion to table that.
Second.
Motion's in, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, that carries as well. basically come to what we believe to be close to the final. We'd like to finalize that this week and send it out to the representatives and various town officials for their approval before it actually gets voted for final approval. So can I have a motion to approve what we have and have it sent out?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have that. Item N, opt-out fire police and disabilities. So I'm passing over to Krista for explanation.
That is something that has come up, a question on the application of the disability consent judgment to anyone who opted out of the consent judgment. And Tracy and I have been working on that with NIHAR and have gotten a list of information together of benefit changes that happened with that consent judgment for the disability retirees who were part of it. And we have a list of people who opted out, and now we're doing a comparison. Well, Tracy's going to be doing a comparison for me for those people to see what benefit changes, if any, were made. So, we have that information.
Table it. for
We'll have
Leanne.
that information
Yeah.
by next time. We've got it all together at this point. We got all the information from the actuary, so we're okay.
Okay, so we table till next month. Can I have a motion to table item?
I make a motion that we table and
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item O, Carrington Quadro. That basically has been approved, and it's been approved by the court order and approved by all parties, so it's going to be signed. So I can have a motion to have the board sign off on the Quadro tonight.
Motion to approve item O in the language that the parties agreed to.
And you'll be signing off on the proposed words. Decision and consent order.
Okay, also adding the signing on the decision consent order.
Should we make a motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Item one carries. Item P, redraft bill. We are going to be asking the town to either pay for this or help pay for this, but to make the knowledge public. This bill has been going on from October 2014, and the last bill so far is February 21st of 17, with a total amount of $30,769.08. So if I can have a motion to have us send a copy of the bill, town council or to Fred, and then we'll pass it on.
I make a motion that we send this bill to both Fred and the town council.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Yep.
Public redraft ain't done, so it's still gonna be more added to it, isn't it?
That's correct. But if we get them to say they're paying for it,
Paying in,
they'll be
pay-
paying for the balance, or if they're saying they're paying 75%, whatever it's gonna be. But hope to God this thing will be done soon. I'm sorry, did we make the vote?
I would also say that we send a copy to finance as well. Fred, the council on finance. CC.
Okay, Fred, town council, and finance. So, so let's just amend the motion to approve to add Fred, town council, and finance department. So just want to add, change that.
Okay. I making a motion that we send a copy to both, to all the finance committee, the finance, Fred, and the town council.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries.
Is this close to being completed?
We believe so.
Yes.
We've been working hard on it.
It's coming to an end very shortly.
Okay. Item Q, annual benefit statements. I'm gonna send a second letter to Fred. Excuse me, actually, I'm gonna send a letter to town council.
Yeah.
Listing what I requested from Fred about having the town pay for the annual benefit statements. So I guess you need a motion to have me, authorize me to send this letter to town council.
I'll make a motion that we send a letter to the town council asking them to pay for the for the annual benefit statements.
Second.
Motion made and second, any discussion?
Do we need to put the amount of that bill in?
No,
That we're gonna
attach
send
it.
to them?
no, we don't
Okay.
know that yet.
I could attach it, but,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carries. Item R, income verification letter. What we've come up with that is, in the previous meeting, we, the board, decided to not authorize the funds to obtain an opinion to be able to enforce this income verification provision. And that's where we had left off with the income verification letter.
You didn't approve the funds?
We did
I
not
thought you
approve
did
the
approve
funds.
the funds.
No, we did not approve the funds.
No. Remember we said we weren't seeking an opinion at that
Yeah, but
point?
before that, you said, I told you to spend as much money as you want, because you can do what you want.
Right.
I don't care where it came from.
And we decided not
agreed
to.
do it.
We
And
talked
then
about
you
doing
reversed
it.
that decision?
I don't think, did we have a vote on that? I don't think we took a vote on
I
it.
think we looked into possibly, we came up with options, but we decided not to do anything at that point. That was about it.
I mean, I remember the vote to not do this. I'm not, do we actually vote or we just talk about it?
No, we
You
voted.
voted to spend money
Oh,
to
should
get
be.
me, a decision on why you don't agree with Mr. Pez's letter on income verification. Your attorney, at the time. That's what you agreed upon, that's what you voted on, that's what I wanted, only because for 13 years, it went unsaid about income verification for disabled police officers and firefighters, and then after 13 years, council changed their mind as to what you thought you could do as far as income verification. For 13 years, you went with your past attorney's advice, where he explained to you in detail what you paid for through the pension fund, of why he thought, as your attorney, there was no reason why a police officer or firefighter could go out and work another job and not have his disability income challenged. That's what your attorney said. All I wanted is that if you're changing your mind now, after 13 years, I deserve a letter, my guys deserve a letter, why you don't agree with Mr. Pezza, who was your attorney at the time, his decision. You let it stand for 13 years. Nobody said anything about it. But
Right,
then all of a
but-
sudden you changed your mind. Why
But-
did you change your mind?
But we've reversed that position and we're not seeking income verification.
So you're agreeing with Mr. Pez's letter?
Not saying one way or another, we're just not going.
We're not
We're not
going after,
pursuing
we're not
it.
going after income verification, which is why we didn't wanna spend the money to
But you
prove
agreed to
that, yes.
spend the money.
All right, well, then we must have reversed that as well, because
Well, did
in a
you?
meeting, I'd have to see minutes, I mean, I don't
Tracy,
recall,
you
but
have the minutes?
even if we did, if we're not
I-
pursuing income verification, why are we gonna spend the pension board's money if we're not going after income verification?
Because we need a closure. We need some type of, look, I'm gonna step down from this organization. I have to tell my guys when I leave, the pension board agreed with Mr. Pez's letter, okay, that you guys can go work, or they agreed with Mike Fort and this, Penza now, I think, law firm, they agreed that they can go after income verification.
But they never came up with an opinion, like a,
But they sent us a letter
Conflicting
saying
opinion.
good. We got the letter.
which
Saying
letter,
that you-
which letter is that?
From Nick.
That was when Nick, yeah,
Well,
when Nick was chair.
The
That
letter-
was from
The letter was
somebody on
asking
the
for,
board that wouldn't disclose who sent it.
yeah,
And then I think what Kevin's looking for is 5 years from now, I'm gonna be here, somebody else will be in your place, we're gonna get another letter, and he's trying to avoid that.
And I'll have to bring up Mr. Pez's letter again
Isn't that also part of the, in the redraft too? Did we put that in there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
that's, okay. And we also have the update form. I don't,
No, the
I don't
the
think
pension
it
spells
was.
out specifically what we are to do as a pension board in regards to income verification for disabled.
It's in the
It's a-
06 plan.
it's in the
not
06
like
plan.
it's gone anywhere. You know, whether we do it or not, it doesn't change the fact that it's still part of the plan. A board down the road may want to do something different, or a council may down the road want to do something different. We can't speak to.
Or should it be in the plan? That's what I'm asking.
We don't write the plan.
Sure you do.
No, we don't.
Who writes the plan?
The town council writes the plan. The CBAs write the plan. Ordinance write the plan. Rhode Island general laws write the plan. We don't write it. We do our best to enforce it, and that's all we do.
Did you ever question it?
We're trying not to spend the money to question that
I
because we're not
understand
going
that.
after it.
But your
so-
job is to question the legality of certain things that have been done by this board in the past, okay? You just can't pick and choose what you want to do. For 13 years, there was an opinion by this pension board, not this one, but one before you, spelled out by your attorney that you hired, that gave a gentleman who retired an opinion why he could go work at another job and would not be bothered by the pension board. That gentleman, his name is George Kelly, okay, chose not to work. But Mr. Pezzo went in detailed, by state law, by contract, by Rhode Island law, by 4519-1, by 4519-19. I know you don't understand any of that, but they're all right. Rhode Island laws reference to disability pensions. And he went, because it was in your pension plan that somebody put there, says, there's no basis to it because I've checked into everything. The contracts, the pension, the Rhode Island law, and my estimation that Mr. Kelly, although he can't be a policeman, can do any job he wants. Okay? And we can't bother him, and we won't touch his pension. That was his legal opinion. And it stood for 13 years. So, Mr. Denise told me you had hired a terrible lawyer. Mr. Pezzo was a terrible lawyer, and that's why you fired him. That's what he said in open thing. He says, Mr. Pezzo was a terrible lawyer for the pension board, and we fired him. That's one of the reasons. I said, well, he's still in good standing. I think he's still a good attorney out there. I talked to him last month. He's still an attorney. He still goes by his decision. And now you're telling me that you don't know what you're gonna do. You agreed to spend the money, now you're not spending money. So I wanna know what I tell my guys, that you're in limbo for another 10 years.
So what you're saying, there was a lawyer, there was a chairman here, and he talked bad about another lawyer, without getting into specifics. That's why he's not here. Wow, it was a beauty.
The problem is, it's in the
No,
plan,
it's-
so
That
in
was
order
beautiful.
to, 5 years, 10 years down the line, whoever the
It's
board
always
may
been that
be,
way.
when they look at the pension plan, it says, we need to do this. It's clear, you know, it's written out in there, so unless that gets changed, or,
Okay, so in
it's-
another 10 years, I'll be 75 years old. I'll come in here with the letter from Mr. Pezza, and maybe Kristen won't be here, and maybe a young buck
she probably will.
from Roger Williams College,
Yeah.
okay? And he'll be sitting here, and I'll say, okay, you disagree with Mr. Pezza's letter.
I think really we're trying to save money, to spend the money right now to get an opinion on something that we're not pursuing, that's not affecting anybody. You know, if it affects you, you come to the board, hey, I have a letter from this, it affects me, take it from there. But to spend the money when there's so many other things that you know, the board's spending money on and we're trying to save money, it's not gonna affect anybody right now, because we agreed not to spend the money to pursue a legal opinion on it. So it's not something that's,
Status quo for now.
yeah,
well,
that's
I know
cool.
what
I mean,
you're saying,
I know what you're saying,
but
you want
it's
clear
a
cut,
maybe in the
but-
future.
Yeah.
So if the board ever has to spend money, it would be down the road. If you wanna spend tens of thousands of dollars now on something that may or may not happen, but you have an answer, or wait, because no other board may ever question this again.
There's quite a bit in the contract that we spend to clarify, you know.
If you really look at what happened, the chairman who sent this out has cost this pension tens of thousands of dollars because it's been challenged and reviewed and every other thing. He's the one who started this bullshit,
Sure.
and we just need an answer. And that's why Kevin put it in writing, original letter, and I didn't see the original letter from Mr. O'Connell, was he had requested an answer. An answer. And so the answer never came. So maybe he should have a letter stating in writing that you're never gonna pursue this.
And that included Mr. Presley and the town council. We were gonna have a meeting up at the West Warwick High School, because we were gonna pack that place. Because I had a lot of wives and children and
Sure. I remember
ex-colleagues.
that.
You remember that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that never materialized, because this issue was still hanging over this body's head. So we could never get there until we got here, to know where you people were coming from.
So
So
can
we're
we get
still
a,
waiting for that meeting.
can we get a copy of that letter?
You all have a copy of it.
I don't have one. You have one?
I have it in one of my old packets.
So, yeah, well, I think I should have one.
And even at that point, it was not Krista,
Yeah, no,
it was.
No.
No, you're right.
It was Mike.
but that's my office, just so I don't wanna.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to be clear.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying, you were.
It was not me, it
Yeah.
was different
Right.
council, but same office, yes.
So can we just
I gotta find it in the
present him with a
packet.
letter that, basically what we had said?
Well, I don't
That
think that
vote.
that's the letter you're looking for. At least that's not my understanding. The board would be willing to present you with a letter that at this time they have decided not to pursue a formal legal opinion. Is that the letter you're looking for?
That'll suffice, and
I know, yeah, you prefer the other one, but again,
I
that's gonna
represent
cost us
37
tens of
guys.
thousands of dollars.
okay? And you gotta realize, I have to go to them and say, I've been fighting this for, what was it, a year and a half now? Year and a half? I promised them a meeting at the high school. You're all gonna be able to vent. We'll have Mr. Pezza here. Mr. Pezza agreed to go there,
Yeah.
okay, on his own time, and not cost me a red cent. He said, I'll defend my letter, okay? I'll be happy to defend my letter.
Okay, but if
But
we're
I
at the
said,
point
you
now,
can't go there,
What?
Mr. Pezza, until I find out what they're gonna do.
we're telling you that we're not gonna
You're
pursue
not gonna,
income
so maybe your
verification.
letters would suffice,
At this
but you're not gonna act on it now.
Well, we're gonna,
Even though
this
you
form
agreed
too
to-
might have something to do with that.
I guess that was,
Well,
I
Kevin
mean,
Yes.
can see
it
that.
could snowball easily, you know, if we spent the money on an opinion, it's unfavorable to anybody.
Yeah,
The
then we'll
lawsuit
report.
comes out of this, it could snowball into tens and thousands of dollars. I mean, whereas if we don't pursue this, or we're not looking for a legal opinion, we're saving a lot of money, it's not,
I
hurting
understand
anybody,
your
you know,
part,
it's-
but you gotta understand
Oh,
my part.
absolutely
Head of
do.
an
Yeah.
organization, if you're head of your
Sure.
union, or head of your shop, your guys want answers.
yeah,
And there's only one guy to go to
absolutely,
in this organization, it's me.
absolutely.
So, I have to answer the 37 guys, okay? So you understand where I'm coming from.
Absolutely, sure.
So, yeah, that letter, if you could do it, that you're not gonna pursue it, maybe that'll appease them. Maybe I won't get my head chewed off too badly. But that'll be fun.
Okay, why don't we try and get that letter and get a copy to Ed too, cause he wasn't here at the time. Was you? You weren't here either, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think you were.
How you doing? But just to clarify, this redraft is a rewrite of the pension plan. I think it is the suggestion of the language in the current plan document, and it's going through each and every article here. Like, there certainly are some clauses in the pension plan about early retirement, which I do say is probably 3 different sections that translate 3 different ways of early retirement. I hope that's what we're doing here now, because we are rewriting this plan right now. You are supposed to be looking at your articles and coming to an understanding on how you're going to implement the plan. So I'm gonna have to agree with Kevin on this. I think we should have clarified language, but we're rewriting this plan right now. I think that's what you guys are doing. You're gonna compile all the contracts over all the years, but when it comes to the articles in the pension plan or how you're gonna implement that plan, I think you guys should know what you're doing, so somebody should be telling you in that plan that, all right, is there income verification or not? Let's do it, or let's make sure they know it can be done. But if you look at the early retirement, there's 3 different clauses, and when Mr. Fort was here, I think, to be honest with you, he was wrong on his position for early retirement. There were 2 members from my group on early retirement that clearly had every right to take an early retirement for their age factor. These are the things I hope are worked out when this redraft comes to light. I think it'll be the position from the retirement groups, but I hope the active guys weigh in as well, because I mean, this redraft should be a brand new rewrite. ordinances aside, the town's gonna vote on this.
It is, but
Correct.
what I was getting at where we don't write the plan is we don't come up with our own little caveats of what we think we should do.
Well, I think the attorney should interpret those
we're
articles
based
for
on-
you, so
right.
you guys have guidance. You don't have any
Yeah.
guidance right now as far as income
Exactly.
verification. Is it there or not? I think that's what Kevin wants to know. And if he's not getting that, then give him a letter that 37 guys will be looked at.
Well, he just explained it to you, what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do income verification, we're not gonna spend the money to go after it, so he just gave you an answer. Am I right?
But it is
Yeah,
part
I
of,
think-
it
I think
is
what
part
he's
of the
looking for-
redraft.
Right.
Yeah,
I know,
Is-
I know what
the-
you're
and-
looking for.
I think the discussion, and certainly everyone correct me if I'm wrong, because that's been the case on occasion, I'll never admit that to my spouse, but I've been wrong on occasion, is that at this time, this board has made a
Suggestion.
financial decision to not currently, as they're sitting here today, pursue the legal opinion for the income verification. That's the
Right.
current decision, which is not to say that it's not in the plan, which we all know the 2006 plan includes the provisions that are in there for the earned income reduction. The issue is whether or not that's enforceable, which we know Mr. Pezza has written an opinion, 2003, maybe?
2003.
2003. Interpreting the older plan, the 99 plan. But I think the language is the same from 99 to 06.
Not only the plan, state law,
Oh,
contracts
yes.
and everything.
No, I just mean the application of the plan
Right.
with everything being accounted for, absolutely. Whether or not that is something that will be enforced at some point in time, I don't believe anyone can state at this
Yes,
point in time.
right.
But yes, the redraft is going in, yes, that is some information that's in there, and yes, that will be something that goes to the town council, which I believe was David's point of, the suggestion is being made of the redraft of what the board has interpreted and how they have, combined is the wrong word, but put together all the different provisions from the plans, the ordinances, the statutes, the consent judgments, what am I missing? CBAs, and tried to make one cohesive document. That's the idea. Did that make sense?
It does, it does. But again, I'll go back. Even though it's in the plan, originally, the original document, it was not in the plan. When they started this pension fund in 1969, and they did the first pension fund, the first one that ever switched from John Hancock until the town's plan, there was no disability clause in there. None. There was, if you got hurt at home, there was a disability clause. Okay? If you got non-job related, there was a disability clause. 7.5 years, you could get so much of a disability pension. If you got hurt at home, or you were driving your car and you got hurt, you couldn't be a cop anymore. But there was no occupational disability in the first plan. The first plan that's been amended many, many times over the 30-some years, okay? Because before that, when you were a police officer or firefighter, not excluding the town workers, if you got hurt on the job, the only alternative you had was to collect 100% of your pay from the town. Not from the pension, because you couldn't get a disability pension from the town. You would get 100% of your pay. Okay, with that being said, somewhere somebody rewrote that pension and added a disability clause, occupational disability clause. And then they started putting in specifics. Well, if you go get another job, we can offset your pay with the other job and all that. And I always said, that's not right, because under 45-19-1, you get 100% of your pay. If you can't be a cop anymore, that's it. But somebody added that to the pension plan. Mr. Pezza argued that, even though it was in your pension plan, his argument was that it shouldn't be in that pension plan, because it was state law and there were other things to counteract that. But it ended up in that pension plan. So somewhere, whether it's to correct or wrong, or whether I'm wrong and you're right now, it doesn't matter. But we should have some, and maybe it will take a legal challenge to go to court. And maybe that was something the pension board of the town will have spend money on, to establish what the disability clause in the pension plan constitutes. can you go out and get another job? Maybe the wording in the pension isn't right. Maybe it is right. Because somebody just put it in there, because I have the original one. There was no disability clause. Then all of a sudden, there was one. So somebody did it, right? Whether negotiations through the town, or somebody rewrote that original 1969 pension that excluded a disability occupational, and somewhere it got instituted. How did that happen?
We don't know.
Exactly, we don't know.
Well, all I can tell you for right now, just to cut you off, right now we're not doing anything about it. I cannot make a promise till tomorrow or 5 years or 10 years from now. I really can't. Right now it's in the plan, and that's the way it is. Does it make sense that it's in the plan? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I didn't put it there.
Right, you're just saying
It's there. So,
Oh, I question it too, and everything, absolutely.
So when
that's
was
where it
this
is.
implemented? What year was it implemented?
1982?
Well, this is 2017, wasn't it? Why didn't it, this is 2017, if it was 1982, why wasn't it taken care of right there and then?
Because nobody, because you know why? Because that, I'll tell you why.
No, I wanna know
You want
why.
the answer?
Yeah.
What? Because everybody hated disability cops and firemen.
I don't like, I hate them, I like them.
You're saying that to me, okay? But I can tell you, they hated a policeman or fireman getting hurt on the job. They just hated it. Okay?
Really?
They hated it with a passion.
Wow.
And that's why it was implemented, because they said, who the freak are you, okay, to go risk your life on the street or go get caught in a fire and get a disability from this town, and you can go get another job, you can go be a lawyer? How dare you? How dare you? We'll fix your wagon. And they put it in the pension. That's how it got there, my friends.
Wow.
Okay? Only because of hatred. That's how it got there. That's the only reason why it got there.
Well, was it fought about? Did the people go out there and fight right there and then and say, let's get this thing straightened out? Why is it in there and all that?
Because the people hated, not only the town council, everybody hated cops that got hurt on the job, or firemen. They hated them. Oh, they felt bad for you. I'm sorry you got hurt, sir. Okay? Get out. Okay? Get out. We don't want you anymore. But don't you go get another job. Don't you dare go get another job. Because if you do, we're going to punish you. And they punished us. It's in the pension. That's how it happened.
Wow.
It's unfortunate. And he knows. He's
Okay.
heard the rules. Okay? Because you don't know until you lived it.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of authority shouldn't be so willy-nilly that this board doesn't do it, but the next one can. That's unfair to the employees who are going to retire, unfortunately for a disability, and have that question or that authority hanging over them. You're nodding
Right.
that
Right.
it shouldn't be, this board's not gonna do it, but maybe the next one will screw you.
Right.
That's not how this government is supposed to work. That's not how that document is supposed to
until the
protect.
council pulls it out of the plan, you know, what are we gonna do about it?
This is my
What I'm saying is, we don't think it's worth it right now to try and enforce that provision, or look after a legal opinion on that provision. That's all we're saying.
when the plan gets handed out to Kevin, the unions, whatever, the first thing Kevin's gonna say is, it's in here, I want a legal opinion on that letter, that you won't, because it's in there, am I right? So what are you prolonging? You're not pursuing, but if, I don't know what's in the rewrite, if it's in the rewrite, he's already gonna question that letter saying, we need a legal opinion. I could be wrong.
I mean,
He's got a question.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
quagmire.
we are ultimately trying to save the pension board money, and, I mean, we are, you know, you guys tasked us with that, and I know you're all, you know, that's a main concern about the pension fund, is trying to save money, and, you know, that's a big part of it. You know, if we pursue it or you pursue it, either way, it's going down the same road, and it's gonna cost a lot of money, you know, and we agreed that we didn't wanna spend the money right now because it wasn't a problem yet. There's a lot of wording in the pension plan that we could go around and spend thousands of dollars getting opinions on, what does this mean, and how does this affect that, and, you know, we were just trying to think of the fund as a whole, that we're trying to save money, so, do we really wanna spend all that right now? Is it is it necessary right now to do it? I know you need an opinion and you guys wanna know, but, you know, the scale is,
Until you get over here,
yeah.
until you sit over here, you can give those types of opinions.
No, I agree with you, Kevin. I've
You know
been
what I
in the union, I've gone through so many contracts and so much wording, and I've been to arbitration, and I know exactly where you're coming from. I really do. You know, and we as a pension board have has to weigh the pros and the cons. You know, and it ended up being a much bigger con for us to pursue this right now. It's gonna cost a lot of money, and there's no victim on the other side telling us, hey, you're screwing me.
Well, my guys was the victim, because when we got those nasty letters from that chair, okay, I had guys that wanted to go kill this whole committee prior to you, okay? Because they got these nasty letters, so it became personal to those guys.
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Right, but
We internalized it because you interpreted something, okay, that was a negative effect on what we knew to be true as disabled guys. And again, we don't have the ear of people, believe me. Disabled guys do not have the ear of people, okay? Everybody say the minorities, we're the minorities, okay? Because you can say you like us, but everybody will tell you, and everybody will tell you, and don't deny it. Disabilities is what's putting this town under. Disabilities is what's putting the pension under. Disabilities, they get too much. Disabilities, they get this. It's going on years and years. When I sat on, people used to tell me, what are you sitting on, friggin' pension board? You're a disabled cop. I said, that's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna vote on anything for it. I just want the pension to survive, okay? But I know you hate me. That's okay. I have a big enough ego that I don't care what you think of me, okay? I put my time in with this town. I did my job. I got hurt. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you for your well wishes. I'll go about my business. Leave me alone, okay? I never asked you for anything when I was doing my job out there. I went and did it. You want to put my life on the line for you? We did it. You wanted him to go in your burning house? He did it. Too bad we got hurt. I'm sorry. We apologize for that. But I have to worry about the ramification for this minority. And that's what I represent. I represent a minority.
I understand, but again, there was
I know there's always
one person here who caused this uproar, who's no longer here, and so if that never even happened, we never would have had to get a legal opinion because this thing may never have
Been there.
just never have even happened, and with him gone, this may never happen again.
And again,
It took more than one person, because you needed a vote. He needed the majority of the vote to do it. He couldn't do it on his own.
and
There
you
was
must
a
ask
majority,
legal counsel.
of the board that voted that.
That's true, but then again, so we had somebody presented their opinion to us, who was an attorney and explained things to us, so we felt one thing at one point, and then when we figured everything else out and had more information, we're in the case we are right now, we don't agree with that anymore.
And I'll take that simple little letter, if Kristen and you people allow her to write it, that at this moment, you're not pursuing the issue, and I'll pass that by my guys. It'll be something that I can appease them with. Because my fighting
Okay.
days are over soon.
Well, I'm certainly willing to do that, so.
Okay, well, let's
Yeah,
look
that's
into the letter and look into it, because it's still in the plan, and it's in the redraft, so it's still gonna have discussion. It's still gonna be there. It's not, unless the town council takes it out after they get it. And we also have the annual update form that's gonna go out, and that's also gonna go to you before it goes anywhere. So they kinda crisscross a little bit. So I think we as a board will definitely keep this alive and going and make sure, we're doing the best we can with the redraft of the plan, and if it's there, we feel that, we have to
Put an
institute what it says.
But you're not. You're not instituting
Well,
it, what it says
we-
right now.
I know, but
Well, just to be clear, the plan says that the pension board may earn income. insert language here, I mean, I can pull it and read it, but may. And this board, at this time, tonight, is saying they have not decided to enforce that part of the plan. That is the information that's being provided, my understanding. In May, the pension board may, in the 06, I'm talking about the 06 plan. Yeah, that the pension board may.
Revisit it in the new redraft.
No, that they may enforce,
No, that we may-
I'm trying to
So
say
you-
what the
we
language
may-
is for the earned income, that the pension board may
Require you to
require
send us your
the
earned
tax
income,
returns or
all that
require
stuff.
proof of earned income. They may do that. They are saying that they have made a decision of, for the reasons that they have right now, that they're not going to do that. That could change. Everyone has admitted that that could change.
Town council could take a vote and order them to do that, correct?
Order us to do what? The
They would have
income
to-
verification?
Absolutely.
No, I don't think so.
No, they were.
Can't do that?
autonomous body.
Yeah,
Can't do
They
that.
could,
You're an autonomous
they can,
body.
I mean, they
Create
can
an
put, they can
ordinance.
create
Can't do that.
the plan, the language.
They could, yeah, they'd have to actually change the
The
plan
plan
themselves,
language.
and then we would have to abide by it,
Right.
saying we don't have the option, we're required to. But, I mean, that's the only way that can happen, is, yeah, they'd have to change the plan. And it's not our recommendation to have them change the plan, to state that fact.
Okay.
Does that help you? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So am I getting a letter? Did you vote on it?
Oh, yeah, we have to go around, well,
Well, you
Let's-
vote,
We
you
can't.
didn't vote for the not paying the money. I think you should vote
all
on
right,
it.
let's vote, we have a motion to send a letter to verify that we are not pursuing income verification.
Me-
we're.
We can't do that at this time. I'm gonna,
You're not pursuing a legal opinion, that was the
Yeah.
law.
We're not pursuing legal.
No.
legal, okay.
Yeah, we're not pursuing
Make a
a legal
motion.
opinion at this time.
Right.
I make a motion, okay.
Second. Yes?
I don't know,
Is there a
can we
motion?
do this? Are we-
Yeah.
Can you
Well-
move to issue a formal letter that verifies what you have said at the meeting, that you are not at this time authorizing a legal opinion on this? Yes,
Yeah, we
I'm
can
trying
do
to
that.
summarize it succinctly and it's not working.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's,
Yes,
Yeah, we can do that.
I could, Lou and I can propose a letter and we can bring it, we can put it on executive session for next month, and so that everyone knows the letter that has been authorized, and then that can go out.
okay.
So you're gonna
I'm
draft
doing, yeah,
Then-
you're
right?
Then I will second that motion upon, we table that letter to next session and, because it does pertain to the plan redraft in another form that is
Yeah, it does.
requiring, information, so we,
So what's the
Okay.
motion on the table?
This is-
I am so confused.
no, you won't be.
Okay, the motion is that it's Monday, okay. We can, the understanding is that the motion that is being proposed is to authorize legal counsel to draft a letter to Mr. O'Connell that indicates that the board has decided at this
This
time to
time.
not pursue a legal opinion in regard to the 2006 earned income plan provision.
There you go.
There you go. That's why she's a
That's
lawyer.
it.
That's the motion? I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carries. Item S, discussion, RFQ actuarial services. Due to my tax season being crazy, I did
Okay.
not send any to the board the email that I wanted to,
Okay,
so
table.
that no one's got to even review that.
Just-
Nor did I get the contact that you gave me the information for, which I will now that I'm in 2 more days of tax season.
Okay, so
I'll
table.
just put it on again, Lou,
Yeah.
the next
Can't wait
time,
till it's over.
next month.
Yeah, please.
We need it by midnight tomorrow, is that a good time?
Okay.
All right, so if I just table it, I don't. Do we need a motion for that?
You can move to table it, or you can just leave it on for discussion, it's just a
Yeah.
All right,
discussion item.
just leave it on the
I
agenda
just wrote
discussion.
leave it,
Okay.
yeah.
Item T, any further public comment? Yes.
How am I so surprised?
State your name for the record.
Kevin O'Connell, Chairman of the West Warwick Police and Fire Disability Association. I don't know if David gave you the document about John Hancock.
I do have it. I can make copies.
It was, a couple months ago, you received a check, a dividend check for $66,000 from John Hancock.
That rings a bell.
As a dividend check. I went home and I found a document that in 1957, when the town started a police and fire pension for its employees, they did it through John Hancock. And in that policy, stayed in effect for 12 years. And then the town elected to have its own private pension, the current one you have now. When they tried to start this new pension, they submitted a letter to John Hancock saying that they'd like to get their money back that they had in the John Hancock annuity group. I think it was 310. John Hancock at that time refused to give the town the money. The value at that time was $363,000 in a group annuity. The town, however, said that they were going to get a legal opinion to try to get the money back, but in the new pension document, there was no legal terminology to force John Hancock to give up that annuity. So it went dead. The town subsequently went and started their own pension plan in 1970. Went out and took a $200,000 treasury note to start the plan, and it's where it is now. You people are ahead of the pension fund. We know that none of the former employees ever got any money from John Hancock, a separate pension. Okay, the only money we knew that came out of John Hancock went to the pension board as far as a dividend. I did some checking, and Fred did some checking, and I guess he had Tim Williamson do it. And it was before the town council meeting the other day. And he says, yep, there was some individual policies with John Hancock. And I think that they used to get a separate pension from John Hancock, plus the pension they get from the town. I said, well, that's not true, because I knew all the guys, because I grew up, my father was a cop. And I says, they never received two pension checks. They received one from the town of West Warwick, whether it was Citizens Bank or whoever, Industrial National, when they first started. So I says, how could they possibly get two pension checks when I've never known anybody get a pension check from John Hancock. And these guys had put in $72,000 of their own money in that John Hancock policy. So my question is, if John Hancock never released that annuity to the town after all these years, and you've been getting a dividend check, would it be the beneficiaries that would be entitled to the dividend because there were individual policies out there and they never got their contribution back that they paid into the John Hancock? And it's a very complicated issue, and I don't think you can answer it. My suggestion would be to get a representative from John Hancock here, and they must have a paper trail of all the individuals, police officers and firefighters, who were part of that John Hancock system. And they should be able to show you a paper trail if any individual or their beneficiaries ever received any type of compensation through the John Hancock Insurance Company. Because as we know over the years, you people have just accepted the checks for dividend checks, and I'm sure when you received them, you're going to look, see whether they were from individual policies or annuity for the town. And that's the unknown factor. Were there individual policies, or was it just a group annuity, and I guess people were added on? I don't know how the John Hancock system went. My father told me he had a John Hancock policy, and he told me he was supposed to get his contribution back, but he says he never did, and now I find out why, because John Hancock would never release the money to the town.
So where's those dividends going?
Why are we
Exactly,
getting
that's what I'm
dividends?
asking.
We
The
get
dividends
dividends
go
on money
into
that
the
we
pension fund.
We get it?
Yeah, we got
Have you
66.
seen-
We got
But
66.
so-
No, you used to
No,
get a little less than
We
that.
used to get
Every
little
year you
ones.
used to get like $9,000
Yeah.
or $11,000. But this year you got a huge check of 66,000.
I think that was the end.
That was the end.
Yeah.
And my question is, why is it the end? Because that annuity had to mature 40 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago? Where's the annuity go, 30 years?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually
Years ago,
30
Thirty
years.
years.
Fred told
Yeah.
me.
So why were we getting a dividend check once the annuity had matured? And John Hancock didn't have any vested interest in it anymore, because the annuity had matured.
But why would you get if it's an annuity, and it's a retirement annuity, okay?
Right.
Why would they even give anything out until you take the money out?
I don't know.
Well, we gotta look into this, because I know about annuities,
Okay.
okay? I would love to have John Hancock here in front
You're
of
the
me.
man to head the investigation.
Well, I will talk with him.
Done.
Trust me.
I delegate. You're the man to, okay? Because John Hancock could explain to us,
Yes.
they must have a paper trail of who was listed on that. annuity.
Exactly.
And if what Fred told me was true, there were individuals listed there, I don't think they're beneficiaries or
And
they
if
ever
they're
received
qualified too, right,
any- If they received any compensation.
yeah.
At least their contribution back, because they paid $72,000 into it, into that annuity, their contributions from their paycheck every year. We know it didn't go into the new pension fund, because the town had to go take out a $200,000 loan from Industrial National Bank to start this pension fund. So John Hancock kept that annuity amount, that 363, plus the $72,000 that these individuals had paid into the John Hancock policy. That's their money.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
confused. If they started
okay,
this
so this-
annuity in
yeah.
1957, why are we getting dividends in 2017?
Correct.
Yeah, but,
When the new pension went into existence, were the people still credited for those previous years of service? So even though like that money is quote unquote missing at the time, were they credited for those years of service?
How could they if they had no record from John Hancock?
Yeah,
Nobody
but
means like employment
Yeah,
service.
Yeah,
came
but
into
did
No,
they-
my father had to do the.
Had
my
to do the
father-
full?
Right, he had to do the full,
After they
yes.
put in $72,000? Wow.
but didn't he get a statement each year?
No.
We got no statements, no nothing?
My, you know, I couldn't find any. I talked to the few remaining survivors there. They said they had seen a policy when they had first got on the department, but they don't know if the department kept them. They just, I mean, some of them
Right.
80, 85 years old now. But none of them ever remember receiving two checks from the town. One
Or
from
a
John
statement,
Hancock,
right.
which probably would be maybe their contributions, and the check from the Westbrook Pension Board.
Well, if they were separate, they should be receiving two
Correct,
checks.
it should be separate.
Absolutely.
And I said, well, you wouldn't forget about that. If you were receiving a check,
You knew you're
that
getting
we heard
it.
from John Hancock,
Yeah.
you know,
Kinda
anybody
remember
in their
that.
right mind would say, hey, honey, why are we getting this check? You know, we don't
That's
have a
separate.
John
Why are we getting
Hancock
dividends?
policy.
Right.
So I think the easiest way, and I can bring my members in, and to question John Hancock if they say, well, there were no individual members, or these are the individual members. They need some answers, because I've been talking to them, and now I'm raising questions to them. Kevin, should we get that money back? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I know there was $363,000 there in 1969.
It's worth a lot of money today.
Yeah, so we got a
Correct.
question. We got a question where these dividends are
I
coming
talked to
from.
John Hancock myself. I told him my dad was a cop, and they couldn't find group annuity 310. The woman says it's nowhere in our files. We can't find it. She says, how do you know it's out there? Because I says, the pension board just got a $66,000 check from John Hancock.
That's somewhere. There's money
She
somewhere.
says, are you kidding me? She says, no. She says, well, when was the annuity taken out? I said, 1957. And I said, 69 was worth 363. So, oh my God, she says, that would be worth about $2 million now, right?
Absolutely.
I says,
50-year, 50-year annuity.
Exactly, but Fred told me the other day that the 66 was the last amount of money
He
you were ever
told me
gonna
that
get
too.
from the John Hancock policy. So why is that? If it was worth maybe $2.5 million, why did you only get $66,000 when in 1969 it was worth $363,000?
That's a good question.
Right, so
Somebody's gonna
When
have
that-
paperwork.
when that check was received, was there a letter that went along with the check?
No, it's just a check made out to the West Warwick Pension.
Here you
Was
go.
there an account number on it?
Did it say dividend?
I have no,
I think
I
that's what
had
you
a
said.
copy of it.
You got a copy of the check?
Yeah, Fred has it.
That was a dividend.
Well, I think we should get a copy of the check.
No,
and-
we have it in our
Last meeting we
packet.
had it, yeah.
In our packet?
Mhm.
Just now?
Last meeting.
No, last month,
Oh, I
or 2
wasn't-
months ago.
Must
A couple
have
months
been.
2 months ago.
At least that.
I made a copy, I
Oh.
put it, that's how it started, I put it in discussion.
I think we
we
could have a
always
good
did,
discussion
we
if
getting
we
it.
had a representative from John Hancock, who knows about group annuities and knows something about the West Warwick.
So
I guess
John
the
Hancock
attorney
has
from
to go.
John Hancock knew about it, supposedly Tim Williams had talked to him about it. You know, but, again, there's gotta be some type of paper trail, and who has a legal right to
Yeah.
that money and who doesn't.
Fred's trying to get the, paperwork,
Okay.
'cause we
Fred's
have
gonna
no
do it.
paperwork, like how he's saying the account's closed and he's trying to get the paperwork.
Right.
So we'll have something to
There's
follow.
gotta be a paper trail.
We have no
We-
files
I hate to give it
anywhere for
telephone.
John
Yeah.
Hancock?
Years
Japanese
ago,
stocks,
when
you know
he
what I mean?
first took it over, right?
You know what I
We just
mean?
get these
I hear
checks,
you.
we would bring them to the pension board, like
I'm
going
still
way
waiting for
back, I
copies
don't
to
know
come out. I know you
before
can
us,
find
but I'm
those.
sure they were coming in.
What's that?
The
We
Japanese
told just
stocks.
deposit it, so every time I get a check, I put it
It
in
was
the
over
packet.
They send no info?
When they
No,
called
it's
them
just,
in,
well,
it was 50.
it's the copy of the check with the
What
stuff.
happened to
I
the
put it right
Yeah.
in the packet, and before I
That's
do
a whole
anything.
other story.
And
I
that's what
remember that
raised
story.
the
There's
issue.
one problem at a time.
You get,
Okay.
you get
So-
your phone number for John Hancock?
I'll have to ask Fred,
Thank
because Fred has the contact, I don't know if you can talk to him, I think, remember, because some people had a hard time talking.
Me, I had a.
You did, and Fred, I think, had a hard time, and that's why he called Timmy, right? For
Right.
some help.
But if we, yeah, if Timmy was friendly with the
Right.
lawyer for John
So
Hancock,
I'll try to get it from
we
Fred.
had it in.
Yeah.
But if we could
The
get the
contact,
lawyer or a representative from John Hancock and
I'll get it for you.
say, hey, these
I'll
guys
send
can
him an email.
answer. I have some widows, I have some guys that are still living, there's a few guys still living. And I questioned
I'll
them, now
CC
they
him.
have questions. Was I supposed to get that money back? Because they never gave me my contribution back.
Right now, it sounds,
There's something
They should.
fishy here.
Just sounds more, coming from you and John Hancock to appease them to.
Oh, thank God I put it on the
I understand
agenda.
that,
I
yeah.
don't know too much about it.
Kevin, just don't step back, yeah, there's a pen, I just don't want you to.
I'm dropping everything.
Oh my gosh.
Drop your money.
I did, Jim did. Thank you so much.
thanks, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll, send it in you.
Okay.
Fred.
Will that be on next month's agenda, or do you think, or,
If, depending upon how fast we get this,
I'm gonna send it probably this week.
because I'd really like to notify the guys if.
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
yeah, if we get it fast, then we reach out to them, and then how fast
or
they
even
want
the
to
next
come
one,
here.
I mean, you know, to get them in here, that'd be fun.
You can, I mean, you can certainly put it on the agenda, and that way at least it's
Right,
on, and then
yeah.
we can let you know,
Yeah.
this is
So,
going to be
like
tabled,
a
there's
pending,
nobody
yeah.
we've reached, right.
Beautiful.
Good. Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further
Okay.
comments?
Good?
I missed something, I'm sorry. It's just,
Oh,
it's really
come
quick, it's
on,
really
I'm
quick.
hungry.
We received a public records request that Tracy and I are working on,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
that'll be done this week, that's it.
Okay.
Within the next 2 weeks,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
be
I'm
done.
supposed to discuss that with you.
Yeah.
Good night now. Thank you. Good night.
Hi, guys.
Good
You
night.
guys all have a copy of it. It's all-
Yep.
It's that.
Yeah.
other piece of
Yep.
paper.
Second,
I got it.
Thank you, Dave.
all in favor?
Aye.
No.
Aye.